A future home after they get done with their photography stint. When they're about 6 months old, they get dumped on sanctuaries and facilities like ours. A lot of times we can't take them and these animals get put down. That's what happened to Barnaby and Bailey. They had nowhere to go. They came to us 6 weeks old. They weren't in very good health. We rehabilitated them, tried to find them a new home, but we couldn't. So as you can see, 5 years later, they did okay. They've got a 7,000 square foot home behind me, and they got you guys helping support them all the time. So if you like what you see here tonight, and the food is incredible, I gotta tell you. But if you like it, please post it on Facebook, Twitter, and all your social media, because that's what brings more people back. And that's what enables us to rescue more animals just like these guys. We do over 100 exotics here every year, as well as donate 1,000 pounds of dry dog food every week to no-kill shelters for dogs and cats. So with your help, we do a lot of good in the animal world, as well as support wounded warriors, terminally ill children, mentally and physically handicapped youth and adults. Well, let's talk about these guys a little bit. First of all, this is Bailey right here, the brother and sister, and this is Barnaby. Now they are North American black bears, but you're going to say, why aren't they black? Well, of course, Barnaby's black. And Bailey is cinnamon. Black bears can be anything from blue-black all the way to pure white. So what we've got here is we got a cinnamon black bear and a black bear. The males are usually a little bit larger. As you can see here today, Barnaby weighs in just a shy over 500 pounds. Now remember, they're 3 times stronger per pound than we are. So that would be like wrestling a 1,500-pound person with just one of those arms he has there. He can flip over a 400-pound boulder. So these guys are really, really tough. Now Bailey weighs in just under 100 pounds, but guess who runs the show? Bailey runs the show. Barnaby pushes her around just until Bailey's had enough of it, and then she takes care of it. Now everybody says, who loves who more? Does Barnaby love Bailey, or does Bailey love Barnaby? Well, I can tell you the answer to that. Barnaby loves his sister more than his sister loves him. You know how I know? Because when I feel Bailey's neck here, it's perfectly smooth. When I feel Barnaby's neck, he's got a bunch of little scabs. That means his sister bites him a lot harder than he bites her. Now they do spat. Everybody says, do they get in a fight? Well, they would never hurt each other, obviously, because they've grown up with each other, and that's all that they have. But they do have little brother and sister quarrels, just like anybody would. Barnaby steals Bailey's food, Bailey steals Barnaby's food, so it goes back and forth. Now remember though, they are pretty darn tough. They've been here over 10,000 years in North America, and these are North American black bears, found in over 30 states. Now even if you don't know anything about bears, if you see a bear in the wild and it's not white, say that's a black bear, because you're 8 times more likely to be right than any other type of bear. Of course, the other type of bear is the brown bear, which includes the grizzly, and of course the Coca-Cola bear, the famous polar bear. They are the largest in the bears species in North America. Black bears are the smallest, but a small bear is still 500 pounds. Now these guys can run faster than a horse, swim 20 miles in open water, and climb a tree faster than we can run. So if you see a bear in the wild, what are you going to do? Well, I'll tell you one thing. If you're with somebody, you're probably going to be all right, because all you have to do is outrun the person next to you, and you can trip them if you have to, right? No, that's not true. Black bears are very timid. If you make a lot of noise and appear bigger than you are, chances are they're going to take off. Remember, these guys are only 10% carnivorous, so 90% of their diet is fruits, nuts, and berries. Look, there's 2 giant hunks of meat on that table tonight, and it is very good meat because Walmart is one of our sponsors. I don't know what that is, but it looks good. But you can see they've eaten their avocados, they're working on their grapes, and they'll eat just about everything before that meat, because they would rather have a bowl of berries, after named after bears, right, berries, than a big hunk of meat. Now they will eat that later. So they really don't want to eat you, they don't want to attack you, they don't want anything to do with you. But if you should get cornered, their nose is very tender. When Barnaby was growing up, he was in trouble all the time. So we always thumped his nose and said, no, Barnaby, no. But after a while, he got pretty smart. He already knew when he did something wrong. So before we could even say no, Barnaby, he'd stand up and put his paw over his nose so he couldn't hit it. Turns out he was smarter than the average bear. But his sister's still way smarter. When we taught them how to do tricks and perform when they were younger so that we could do things like we are here tonight, Bailey would always learn them first, and Barnaby wouldn't want to do it. Well, one day, after Bailey learned to stand on that barrel on one foot and do all kinds of amazing tricks, Barnaby figured out that she got more food than he did, so he knocked her off and he practiced for a whole week until he could do it on his own. He's a hard-working bear. Sometimes we gotta get the bear down a little bit, but he does really good. Now here's a question for you. What does a bear do first thing in the morning?
Stretch.
It wanders around in its bare feet, of course. How do you catch a bear? You set up a barricade, and you can use barriers if you have to. Now, they will live into their 20s in captivity. They live longer in captivity than they do in the wild. And the reason is because they don't hibernate. People say to your bears, oh, yeah, she doesn't trust her brother. They have a trust issue when it comes to me. Now, they will live longer in captivity than they do in the wild. And the reason is because our bears don't hibernate, because we never shut their food supply off. Now, that's Mother Nature's way of protecting them and letting them survive long terms of many days with no food. And depending on where they live, anywhere from Mexico all the way to Alaska, the time changes. So bears hibernate a lot longer in Alaska than they do in Texas. They only 7 minutes hibernate, and our bears don't hibernate at all. So that adds 4 to 5 years to their life, not having to shut it down and start it back up. So as you can see, their diet is quite abundant. They just now are starting to increase their diet, because even though they don't completely hibernate, they eat less in the winter, more in the spring. It kind of levels out in the summer and then a lot in the fall, getting ready for winter. They still have their winter coats on here today, and it's a really neat coat because not only does it waterproof, there's an oily down on the inside. They're good to 20 degrees below zero with no cover, and it floats. How cool is that? So when they swim, they don't get wet, and it's just like a big life preserver. That's why they can swim so far in open water. Now, as you can see, they have claws. They're not retractable claws, and our claws here on Barnaby are kind of worn down. They can be really sharp in the wild, but since we have a lot of concrete in the exhibit, we did that on purpose. So even if they want to play with us and they grab us, they don't get us. Now, the next obvious question is, why would you want to play with a bear? Well, you don't, because a bear eventually is going to escalate it beyond what you can do, and so they are not pets. These are not tame bears, they're trained bears, and all wild animals are always wild. So why don't they attack me here tonight? Well, it's pretty simple. Because wild animals attack out of fear. And these guys are not afraid of me because they've grown up with me. They're not afraid of their environment because they've been here quite some time and it's stable. They have perfect nutrition and they see people every day of their lives. So they're very stable, and we are able to do things with them that you wouldn't be able to do with a lot of bears. Barnaby, where are you going? Don't go away mad. He'll be back, he'll be back. So we can do things, but that could change at any time. So these are not pets. They don't love me. They only work for food, and they only don't bite me because they're not afraid of me.